and welcome. Today we're out and about. Going to try to do more videos either this way or out taking a walk rather than just doing everything sitting at a desk and talking at the camera. We're also going to start a new series. We'll probably do some of these as well as doing my normal stuff. I want to do it differently than what we've been doing. But right now what we're going to start talking about is bad parenting. And today's topic will be living through your kids. Now, a lot of times it's going to be especially sports parents, but it's also parents with kids in the arts. You know, it doesn't matter. You're always going to have parents who live vicariously through their children. Be they the failed athletes who want their kids to grow to play football, baseball, hockey, what have you, or even the person who never did anything but thinks that their child has to be the next gold medalist in swimming or ice skating or something else. You know, these are just usually bad parents because rather than encouraging their children, you know, they turn whatever activity their child is doing into something their kids will probably grow up to hate. You know, I spent a lot of years playing ice hockey. I coached both my own kids, other people's kids. My children both played ice hockey. And, you know, with my own daughter, my youngest, thing I always asked at the end of a game, win or lose, I was always like, did you have fun? And, you know, especially at that age when they were playing mites, that was the only thing that really mattered to me. When she moved up to squirts, I really didn't care that much because, you know, the kids are developing skills. I want them to have fun. But, you know, you'd see parents who are just really bad human beings when it comes to this kind of stuff, who are screaming at their kids, you know, skate, do this, do that. Number one, your kids can't hear you if they're playing hockey on the ice and you're screaming at them like a fool. Number two, you yelling at them isn't going to make them skate any harder, shoot any better, or do anything else. That's going to come with practice and developing skills. But you being an asshole, it's not going to make your kids a better player. And I guarantee you when you get in the car and yell at them on the way home because they didn't perform the way you expected, you know, they're just going to learn to hate the game and maybe even hate you because of it. So, you know, it's a bad parenting trap you don't want to fall into. You know, to some extent, I mean, I was always harder on my son, my oldest. He wanted to play the same position I did when I coached. And, you know, being a goalie, I expected more out of him because it always falls on your back. I did my best not to fall into the bad parenting trap. I never lived through my kids because I played myself all the way up until probably 7 years ago when I was told I had too many concussions. And I didn't need to live through my kids. I was playing myself. I played as a kid. You know, I played as an adult. And I did a lot of things my kids probably will never do. So I didn't need to live through them. But, you know, these parents that feel they need to live through their own children and put immense pressure on their children to perform the way they think they should perform, I mean, these people are just assholes. You can't do that with your kids. So, you know, don't be that parent. Don't be the parent that screams at your kids because of how they perform in a game. You know, you have to look at most of these things that our kids do. Almost all these kids, almost all of your kids, they're not going to grow up to play professional ball. They're not going to grow up to be professional skaters, Olympic skaters. You know, they won't grow up to be professional NHL players or anything else. But what you may do is strip them a love of the game. They won't want to follow the sports. If it's the arts, they may just give up altogether, you know, playing piano or violin or stuff like that. You know, I'm going to get personal here with my own mother. She was extremely hard when it came to that. She wanted to be a concert pianist. So she wasn't good. She sent me to a conservatory for music, and I grew to hate it because of the pressure that was put on me. You know, with my own mother, I had to deal with the living through your child thing because I had to play in concerts and this kind of stuff she was never good enough to do. And I mean, it even came to the point At one point I had broken my finger doing martial arts, and I was made to practice with that broken finger. I mean, I won't even touch a piano now that I'm older. I don't want to. I absolutely despise it. And it was always my goal not to do that with my own children. And you don't want to create something where your children hate it. Now, with children and stuff like that, the only thing I do encourage is don't let kids quit the minute they start something. With my own kids, my rule has always been, if you start a musical instrument, you're committed for a year. It's like a contract with me. You can't just say, I want to play violin, and then quit a month later because it's difficult or you get blisters. I'm not going to yell at you or anything else, but you have to practice, and you're committed. And I explained that when they were young. If you want to do something, you are committed. When they came to me and wanted to play hockey, I was like, all right, but you are committed for a full year, because it's not cheap, and it takes a long time to learn and become proficient at it. So I do think that you have to have your kids be responsible for their decisions, so that, that's why I've always said, music or something, you're committed for a year. You're committed for a full season, maybe a full year for a sport. But I never push them or expect them to perform better than what they're capable of doing. And yelling at a kid over a game or a sport or a musical activity or something like that just makes you a fucking horrible human being, and you don't want to do that. So, don't be that parent that lives vicariously through your children. Don't have them do something because it's something you love to do. You can ask them, would you like to play a sport? Don't say, do you want to play football because I played football? Don't fucking do that. Let them make their choices. If they come to you, Mom, Dad, I want to play baseball, and you love football, let them play baseball. It's what they want to do. It's not hurting anything, and let's be honest, they're not you. They may not want to play the same sport you wanted to play. There has to come a point where you realize as a parent, you've had your chance. Let your children make their own choices as to the activities they want to do. Encourage them to commit to them. Encourage them to have fun. Win or lose, especially when they're young, ask them, did you have fun? If you want to ask them about their performance, what did you do good? What do you think you could improve on? But don't yell at them or harass them because they perform poorly in your opinion. In all honesty, they're probably doing the best they can at that stage in their life and at their stage in development, whatever they're doing, and anything else is you just being an asshole. So don't take it to the point where your kids are going to hate what they're doing. They're going to hate you for what you're doing. Make the things that they're doing as extracurricular activities, or even if they're doing sports in school, make it something they enjoy and something they love. I mean, with ice hockey, I played until I was in my late 40s, and I had to stop because of injury. If I had have hated it, I would have stopped. I did a lot of things until injury said I couldn't do it, or family life. But I stopped them because I wanted to. I didn't stop as a youth, except for like piano, because I hated it. And you don't want that to happen. You don't want to spend all that time and money and then realize you made your child hate something that they could probably do for the rest of their life and enjoy. So don't make something that your kid can enjoy a chore and something they detest doing. Encourage them. Be a good parent. Don't be an asshole. Don't fuck up their young lives by being an asshole and criticizing them for performing poorly. It's something that probably won't mean anything in the long term in their life. And let's face it, them doing well is not a reflection on you. It's a reflection on them and their hard work. So don't live through your kids. If you want to go out and play a sport, join an old men's league, old women's league, and play on your own, but don't fuck with your kids' lives and live through them. And with my son, I think the thing he was most angry with was he got injured before playoffs on his one team, and because he broke his catcher hand, I didn't allow him. I was coaching the team. I didn't allow him to play during the playoffs because I didn't want to see a permanent injury in his hand. His development with his bones and everything was more important to me than whether or not that team won the playoffs. And we ended up getting another goalie in. He did okay, but we lost the playoffs. There's nothing you can do. You're injured, you can't play. He was always a little bitter because I would play with concussions. I'd play with broken ribs. I would play, but I'm an adult. I can do something stupid. As a parent, I don't want to cripple my child. With my daughter, it was always much different. I encouraged her to have fun. Now when she was, I don't know, it was like her third or fourth year playing hockey, she broke her knee, and that was it for me. I stopped her from playing. She took a couple years to recover, and we let her start swimming, which was easier on the joints, and we didn't have to worry about the injuries. But my goal with my kids was always protecting them, not letting them get injured or cripple themselves. There are parents out there that don't care if their kids get crippled or injured. I mean, they just want to play. I had players that I saw like that on my children's teams, where the parents would have them play right after they went to a hospital for a concussion and stuff like that. And it's not cool. And most of these kids, they're not going to be in the NHL. If they're lucky, they'll play maybe Division III club hockey. They're not going to be pro players, and the parents just push and push and push, and it's insane. But that's it for this. Let me know what you think of the format we're shooting in. I'm sure people aren't going to like what I'm saying here, and honestly I don't care, because if you're that person that screams at your kid for not skating or performing well or not practicing enough or doing this, you're just a bad person. I don't care about your opinion. So, but that's it for today. Have a great day. We'll see you next time, and we'll probably be talking about some D&D related stuff in the next video. But thanks again, and we'll see you next time.